Blaine Harden, Escape from Camp 14, One Man's Remarkable Odyssey from North Korea to Freedom in the West. Delve into the harrowing tale of Shin Dong-hyuk, the only known person born and raised within the electrified fences of a North Korean prison camp who later escaped to freedom. This summary of Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden chronicles the brutal living conditions and dehumanizing experiences Shin endured in the totalitarian regime's hidden world, where some 200,000 people are captive. From enduring starvation, beatings, and betrayal, to witnessing unimaginable violence, the summary showcases the true cost of seeking freedom and the challenges faced by those who dare to dream of a life beyond the fences.
Escape from North Korea. A harrowing tale of survival in a brutal North Korean prison camp, told from the perspective of Shin Dong-hyuk, the only known escapee born and raised within its walls. Shin Dong-hyuk's life began in a North Korean prison camp, where he and his family endured unimaginable hardships as prisoners of the brutal dictatorship. Their home was a barren cell, lacking in basic amenities like furniture, running water, and adequate food. Shin's mother, Jang Hae-jaeyoung, beat him and viewed him as competition for food, while his father ignored him, and his brother was a stranger. At age 10, Shin saw a guard sexually assaulting his mother, and she did not resist. Rape and sexual contact without prior approval are prohibited by Rule 8, subsection, and are punishable by immediate execution. Shin's mother was later given to his father as a reward for his proficient work on a metal lathe, and his father was living at a work site elsewhere in the vast camp. Each day, Shin's mother worked in the rice fields, returning briefly at lunchtime. She would make lunch for Shin and herself in the dim light of a single bulb hanging from the ceiling of a kitchen shared by several families. Often, Shin would eat his food and hers before she returned at midday, which would result in merciless beatings. Shin learned to snitch on his family members and fellow prisoners to survive in the camp. The only solace came when he and his friends went scavenging for food, particularly in spring and summer when insects and rats were easy to catch and cook. The curriculum at school focused on the camp's degrading rules, the importance of informing on anyone, and the nature of hard labor. One day, a teacher beat a 6-year-old girl to death with a stick for allegedly stealing a few kernels of corn. Despite the desolate conditions within the camp, North Korea outside the walls remained medieval, with a primitive infrastructure, endless famine and floods, and roving bands of homeless youths raiding the countryside. The people had no champion but themselves, and experts say that China has no good geopolitical options regarding North Korea. Shin's life changed forever when he managed to escape from the camp and eventually made his way to South Korea and the US. His story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and a reminder of the brutal reality faced by those living under oppressive regimes. Shin's traumatic journey. Shin's life in a North Korean prison was filled with lies, betrayal, and extreme torture. After reporting his mother and brother's attempted escape, Shin was punished severely with burning coals, hanging, and stabbing. He witnessed the execution of his family members and was beaten repeatedly by his classmates. However, his bond with an older cellmate helped him recover from his wounds, and he eventually made the first free decision of his life, choosing not to snitch. A journey of survival. Shin Dong-hyuk's life in a North Korean prison camp was filled with hardship and suffering. From working on a hydroelectric dam to being assigned to a pig farm, Shin endured it all. Throughout his time in the camp, he was constantly threatened with death if he didn't fulfill his work quota. Shin's luck changed when he was assigned to the pig farm, where he had enough to eat for the first time in his life. However, he was later transferred to a clothing factory where he was encouraged to spy and snitch in exchange for food. It was during this time that he met Park Yong-chul, an older man who shared stories of life abroad and fueled Shin's longing for freedom. Overcome by the allure of awareness and hope, Shin began to consider the possibility of escape, despite the immense risk. The Harrowing Escape. Shin and Park planned a daring escape from a North Korean prison camp near the Chinese border. Park perished in the attempt, but Shin managed to crawl over his burnt body and make his way to freedom. Shin wandered through North Korea and eventually made it to the Chinese border, where he crossed with the help of a bribe. Shin then worked as a cattle farmer, saved money and traveled to Shanghai before reaching South Korea with the help of the consulate. The escape and struggles of Shin. Shin's memoir Escape to the Outside World recounts his escape from a North Korean labor camp. His experiences were painful, and he had to deal with post-traumatic stress, nightmares, and guilt, but his memoir offered some relief. Despite living with a loving Korean family in California, he struggled with assimilation and held down jobs. His return to South Korea in 2011 was not without risks, as death threats came with his advocacy for those left behind in Camp 14. Overall, Shin's story is a poignant reminder of the horrors of the North Korean system.
The harrowing story of Shin Dong-hyuk demonstrates the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope. Through the summary of Escape from Camp 14, we gain a haunting look into the secretive and brutal world of North Korea's labor camps. Witness Shin's transformation from a young boy struggling with hunger and betrayal to a man who risks everything for the chance at freedom. As the first and only known escapee from a North Korean prison camp to share his experiences, Shin has become a witness and an advocate for those still trapped within Camp 14, offering an unparalleled perspective on the grave human rights abuses happening under the veil of dictatorship.